Hannah Oli Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och vi lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the video side of the Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and I'm super excited today, super excited. We've got one of my favorite people in the music business. She's fantastic. She's been on the show a couple times, and I always have so much fun when she's on. I would like to welcome the soulful pop singer, Miss Ela Ozturk. And I think I'm saying that correctly.
Perfectly. Thank you.
Nice. How you doing, Ella? What's been going on? You've been a busy lady.
I have. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been good. Just promoting my new upcoming debut EP. So really excited about that.
Nice. And we were talking a little bit before the show, and you've been working on this, working hard on this. And
yeah, I've worked on this project for a year. Over a year, actually. So.
Man, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, going to my wife and going, "Hey, dear, I've got an idea for a painting I'm going to do, or a couple paintings. So I'll be finished that in a year." And I can just imagine. I can imagine she'd be like, "No, Picasso, we need a new washing machine. We need this. We need that. I want some frappuccinos, and get to painting, guy. Get to painting." Yeah, that's how my life goes, folks. That's how my life is. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, I'm kidding. She's great. Matter of fact, look for her. We were talking last night. We're having dinner. I'm going to interview her here in I think next week about her sculpture. She's a sculptor and makes ceramics and all this kind of stuff. Anyhow, back to the new project. Do we have a title for the EP? Is it going to be a self-title?
Yeah, it's called Pearls of Wisdom.
Pearls of Wisdom. I like that. Yeah. I like that. So
that's why I have a whole pearl theme in all my photos and captions. And even making out the nails, there's a lot of like pearls everywhere because it's just like playing on that concept.
Literal Easter eggs.
Yeah, little Easter eggs. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
But yeah, the concept is like playing on that phrase, Pearls of Wisdom. And then basically the essence of the project is about lessons I've learned in life and love. And just saying that at the end of the day, like there's no regrets because it all taught me all the lessons I've learned. It brought me to where I am. And it's my pearls of wisdom. So yeah, that's the idea of it. And I'm dropping like a few singles before I drop the whole EP. And I dropped 2 singles already. So
nice. It's always busy. Always busy. And folks, anybody out there that is in the music business, trying real hard to make it and whatnot, that's some good advice right there. Always keep that hustle going, man. You could sleep later no, you can't. No, you can't, because then you'll be big time. You'll have bought a house, several cars, maybe a plane. Your kids will all want ponies. Super. I had a friend of mine the other day tell me, it's like he's got a couple preteen girls. Yeah. I'm like, "How are the gals doing?" And he's like, "Oh, the friend of theirs got a pony. So now they both," and I'm like, "Don't do it, man. That is expensive stuff. And it doesn't end. They don't just stop eating. No. Or living. You got to put them somewhere." Oh, man. Yeah. They can't live in the living room. They need a horse place. Anyhow, Pearls of Wisdom. I like that. I like that. Good painting title. I wish I would have thought of that. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
Hey, great artist steal. Just kidding.
Telling you.
You know that book, Great Artist Steal?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Picasso said that. Yes. And he did a lot.
No, you can make a painting inspired by me. I give you permission.
Well, there you go, folks. There you go. And and fast forward to 15 years and we're both rolling in money. I'm smoking a big cigar. She's got a $15,000 handbag.
Oh my!
Somebody pointed that out to me. I knew that there was expensive designer handbags, and I figured, they're probably crazy. I've known women that have bought $700 shoes. I get it. And then my wife started laughing at me and she's like, what are you talking about? You have no idea. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, what do you think of like a high-end Chanel bag runs? I don't know, $1,000 maybe? That's what I was thinking. Like, no, I had a couple zeros on that. Like, somebody's laying out 10, 20 grand for a pen, for a purse?
Yeah. Even like Hermes bags, they can be over 100K, a million. Yeah.
No, I told my wife, I said, I hope you like tote bags because that's what you're going to be toting. I might take one of them little plastic things from the grocery store. You can carry your stuff around in that.
It's too funny.
She didn't like that idea. Anyhow, yeah, I had no idea. Not a clue. You know. Anyhow, so this project, let me ask you, when you started this project, did you already have, I hang out with musicians, so I know, and not all musicians are the same. I get it, folks. Don't send me emails complaining about this. I get everybody's unique and different, but my musician friends, sometimes, it seems like all the time, they're like, I don't know any musicians who go, oh, I have writer's block. I don't have anything in my deck of cards here. They always have a few gems hidden away. And they're like, hey, let's make an EP. Oh, well, I have these. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they start fresh and do a whole project from scratch. Did you have these in your 100K handbag? Or did you start fresh on all these different tracks?
That's a really good question. I think some of these songs I had written like maybe a few sentences, a few lines, just here and there. Because as a songwriter, I'm always writing. I didn't know it was going to be an EP, and I didn't know it was going to be part of the EP. And then I actually started working with a new collaborator, a new producer. His name is Will Snyder. And
Nice.
he's amazing. And this whole project is produced by him and co-written by him and engineered by him. And so he's my new collaborator. And we worked on this for a year. And we basically wrote a good amount of songs and narrowed it down to the best 6.
Gotcha.
And then, and we just wrote together and also just figured out the composition of it all. The thing is, when you're writing songs, lyrics can change depending on the production. You might have too many syllables, too many words that can't fit into the bars that producer's creating. It may not make sense. It may not flow well. So you might have these lyrics and you're super set on them, but sometimes it just doesn't work with the production and the environment that the producer creates for the song to live in. So it's really a long process to make a song, especially like R&B soul. It's like I'm layering my vocals a bunch of times.
Right.
There's so
And
many
probably instruments too.
There's so many instruments. My producer has told me it takes him so many hours to make even one of our songs. It's not an easy style of genre to make. Especially as me, I'm like a proper like songwriter, like storyteller. So I don't like to just make really surface level music. I really like to like take my time, sit with the lyrics, like make music that actually has something to say. And that just
Right.
takes long, which is why I don't think I'm one of those artists who are quote unquote like a TikTok artist. Like I'm not dropping music every week. I'm not trying to go viral. I'm trying to be more like an album artist. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, first of all, I can't write that fast. I have to, because my music is really like about personal experience. I actually have to live life. I have to feel it. I have to sit with it. I have to reflect. And my music really is like a journal. And so it takes a longer time for me to write those songs and a longer time for me to get out into the world. But I feel like by doing that, I'm getting more like a timeless catalog and I'm building more like high quality music that when people find one song, they can dive back into the others. And they tend to like at least a couple songs. And I think that's just like a testament to being authentic to yourself as an artist. So
Right.
that's a spiel. But yeah, that's basically long story short. I wrote a few lines and then I really took my time writing for a year.
Well, I get what you're saying. I'm the same way with my painting. The end thing that gets painted in at least with me, is the seal. The seal, the gel coat that seals everything into place. And the problem with that is and I do this on purpose, is once that seal's on there, that painting's done. Because otherwise I'll sit here, it'll be on one of the easels or something around here, and I'll look at it and I'll go, what if I did this? Or what if I changed this or added and next thing you know, we're a month into this painting and people, again, my wife's saying, hey man, the water bill's due. We got to get come on, Picasso, get on it. And now she going, but the reality is you can get into the quicksand of your creative project. And for me, once that seal goes on, because you can't paint over top of it, you could, but everybody would see where it would look real bad. But yeah, and so I like that sealing in that it stops that particular, we're done with mastering with you guys. So after something's mastered, no, we can't add a French horn in there. I'm sorry, Ella. I know that's your vision. You should have came to me with that vision a month ago. Checks have been written. She's like, yeah, I know. I'm writing the checks. Come on. I'm sure the same way.
Yeah.
When your name's on the door, folks, it's got to be right. It's got to be right. It can't be half-assed. And yes. I'm not saying people out there, well, I am saying some people do stuff half-assed, and that ain't going to be me or Ella.
He's saying it.
Well, I'm just saying, it's got to be right. It's got to be right. And it's hard. For those who are not in the creative world, you have to understand, me and Ella don't go punch a clock. You know what I mean? I'm sick. I don't feel like working today. Well, that's fine. Nothing's going to happen if we don't. So it behooves us to get this stuff done. And that's everybody. I get so many people telling me all the time. They're like, I want to do what you're doing. And I'm sure you get people saying, I want to do what you're doing. Just sit around and sing all day. Or write. The thing is, Ella probably does that part of the day. And then there's a lot of nonsense on top of it.
There's like 30 job titles that I can add. Probably more. Like things that people don't even realize. Like I'll spend like a whole day just like obsessively figuring out like fonts for like graphic design for a poster. And like, going back and forth with my music distributor because there's like a problem with like delivering a song or just like mixing and mastering. I mean, you can listen to a song until your ears bleed. You have to eventually call it a day.
Yeah.
And there's just so many steps with mixing and mastering. Like there's so many things that go into making a photo shoot, a music video, pitching your music, putting a show together, rehearsals, getting a band together, you have to get different files just for the live music from your producers. They're called stems and like, they're just different. You have to rehearse. You have to figure out your set list. It goes on and on. There's always something to do. Like it's really a Monday to Sunday, 24/7 job. It's like, there's always something to do. There's always something that goes wrong. Like you're really basically your own label as an independent artist. And there's a reason that labels have so many people that work for them. There's so much to do. And when you're an independent artist, it's just like, you have to solve so many problems. You have to manage so many people. You have to talk to so many people. You have to have so many meetings. It's very stressful, actually. But that's why I say you have to love music. Because if you're doing it just to like be famous or whatever, it's just like, it's not work out for you. Because like my main motivation is like, I just love music. Like I live for it. It's like more than a purpose, more than a passion. It's like just a lifestyle. Like if I'm not listening to music, I'm writing. If I'm not writing, I'm like at a show. If I'm not at a show, I'm in rehearsal. Like music is my life. And because of that, I go so hard. And then it doesn't feel like work unless you're doing the music business side. But that makes it worth it because it makes the creative part easy. If you're handling the business side of things, then you can focus on the creative. So yeah, you have to do it all when you're an artist.
Absolutely. And if working 18-hour days or 16, 17, 18-hour days, 20-hour days doesn't wind your watch, well, that's a Tuesday for Ella. You know what I mean? That is just part and parcel of this game. And she's right. If you want to be famous, I don't know, man, go on TikTok, have somebody throw a pie in your face or something. There are easier ways to be famous um, than this kind of stuff. It's we're not complaining. You have to understand this, folks. I know exactly where Ella's coming from. She's not complaining. She's not, oh, it's so hard and all.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it, man. She'll wake up tomorrow and do that. She did this today. She's doing this interview. This is time. The meter is running. We're
It's
not
just
complaining about it.
Yeah, the reality.
It's just the reality. Like in my world, everybody's always like, why don't you work with galleries more? And I'm like, well, because I don't like giving half my money away. That's why. And a gallery usually represents, when you go to an art gallery, there's usually a few different artists in there. So they're spending their time trying to sell multiple things, multiple paintings from multiple artists and whatnot. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like Ella. I'm like, I can do this stuff. Plus, if you just have control over, no one's going to market you like you market yourself. And that's the reality. And the music business has morphed into that. Yes, I'm sure Taylor Swift ain't out there, but I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something right now, ladies and gentlemen. When Taylor made her little political announcement the other day, I firmly believe there was no label going, okay, this is the date and time you need to, that seemed all pretty genuine to me. But she's a level where she can do that. You know what I mean? What's that gal that my wife's obsessed with right now? Chapel Rowan or what? She might be doing her own stuff. What do I know? But the music business is different now. It encourages, because all the millennials had Napster ruin the music business the way it was, that Ella's generation and whatnot has grown up going, well, I got to do this myself. And she's a good example of doing it well. So
Yeah.
look at people who are doing anything you want to do in life, folks. Look at somebody who's doing it and figure out how they're doing it and say, how can I do that for my thing? That was a good example of someone to watch and learn from, is all I'm saying. Very cool. Now, let me ask you about budgets and whatnot, since we're talking business side of things. Come up with a concept. Okay, we got these singles. We're going to do this. We're going to go hard. I've got X amount for a budget. Do budgets change during that process? Or are you pretty good at maintaining a budget? Or do you go crazy?
No, I'm definitely not Rockefeller. You have to do a little bit of both. I try to do some DIY myself. Sometimes call in favors for creative friends. I have a lot of artist friends. We all have different talents. I'll help someone with maybe songwriting, maybe connecting them to someone. Maybe they'll help me with the photography or something. And then with sticking to budgets, it's important to stick to a budget so that you can not create from a stressful place.
Right.
You're going out of your budget. It can stress you out, and it can also delay deadlines that you're trying to meet if you still have to pay things off. But I do recommend, and I know no one wants to talk about it, but I do recommend most artists try to keep a day job or a part-time job until they can make a good amount of income from their.
Absolutely.
Luckily with music, there are some things that you can do, especially in this generation. You can sell merch, you can do sync licensing, so getting your music into commercials, video games, movies. You can write or produce for people if you have those skills. You can mix and master if you have those skills. You can even do exclusive content and subscriptions, through Instagram if you have diehard fans that will pay $5, $10. Patreon, YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot. And streaming, of course, but you have to get a good amount of streams to make even a little money, because you get paid very little. So that's why the main thing is focusing on having a community. And you have to find those people.
People that dig what you're doing.
I'm still working on that. It's very hard. It's a very saturated market. But yeah, I have only been doing this for 4 years, and there's so much to learn. But I feel like with this project, I'm in a good place to start doing a lot more shows, start trying to write for other artists. And I'm really focusing on sync right now, because I do think that it can actually lead to being a full-time artist if you're able to get your music into movies, television shows. Even small brands will pay you a few grand for your songs. It doesn't have to be a huge company too. So I think people need to just understand the business side so that they can do this full time. And I'm working on that too. It's very hard. It's not going to happen in a year. On average, it's probably going to take 10 years to go full time. But once you do, Chapel Rowan, I think like a year ago was like a barista.
Right.
And she actually was signed by like Atlantic Records out of or in high school, something like that. And then they dropped her. And then she met her current producer. And then she just like developed her sound. She had to take that time to find her visual and creative identity, even though she's been making music for such a long time. And then that led to success. But she's been doing this for like over a decade. So I
That's
just tell people, you have to have foresight. You have to love it enough that you can do
and
everything in front of
learn.
you and learn. You have to love it for the journey and for what you do, because it might take you 10 years and everyone might say you're crazy. You might have to work jobs you hate. You might be broke. You might get rejection. But if you love it, then you can eventually end up. The key is to not give up. If you don't give up, you actually give yourself a chance to make it. But if you give up, that's failure. It's just giving up. But if you don't give up, then I don't think you fail. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple thoughts. You're right on that sync. I had a guess. This happened a couple years ago. My wife used to manage she was a manager at Ulta, the makeup store, and then so on.
Oh, yeah.
So she did that for 15 years. She was there forever. She's doing other stuff now. But at the time, I had this guest on, this really cool guy, and he was a pop singer, and he was great. And he got into the sync thing. And the next day, my wife texted me from work. She goes, "Hey, you know that guy that was on the show you had on the show?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, they're playing his single that I heard coming when you played it here at Ulta over the speakers and stuff here." And so I said, "Okay, hey, thanks for letting me know." So I texted him then, and I said, "Hey, just an update from the trenches at the Ulta in Deerfield Beach. Your track's being played over there." And he's like, "Oh, the best money I ever spent, the best money I ever," really? He goes, "because I know if it's playing at that one, it's probably playing at the one in Des Moines, Iowa, hopefully, and all over the place." So, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Chapel Rock. She's the one. No, forgive me, folks. I'm an old man, so you got to remember that a little bit. I try to keep up with all this stuff best I can. But somebody, I think it was her, was at the VMAs and the photographers. She snapped to the photographer or whatnot. And so some other old man, or it might have been an old woman, I don't know, on Facebook was commenting, because these people on Facebook are just so they just know everything. Was complete. Why would she ruin her image and blah, 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 all this nonsense. And I told this person, I said, "Look, you probably don't understand because you've probably never been in that situation. But this is how that works when you're doing. Those photographers want a picture to sell. That's why they're out there taking pictures. That's how they make their money. And they want one that'll stand out. So they say effed up stuff sometimes and whatnot to get a reaction, because then they've got a more sellable product that stands apart from everybody." Now, I think this was probably her first red carpet or whatnot. She probably didn't know that. This lady on Facebook didn't know. You know what I mean? If you've been to a few of these things once or twice, you're like, "Oh, that's how that game works." And you do know it, but get the gal a break. She's on it. She's doing great, I think. We're sitting here arguing about it on Facebook.
She's amazing.
She's doing it. So I have no problem with that. And I don't even really have a problem with the photography. That's that game. As long as you're not causing Princess Diana to crash or something, make your money, try to make your lunch. That's how you got to do it. I know a couple cats that were in that business. They've since retired, but yeah, it's not as glamorous as I think people think, waiting outside someplace sometimes in the rain and the weather and stuff, waiting for something to happen. Trust me, folks, you'd much rather be in the club than standing outside waiting for somebody to come out of the club. You know, of course, you can spend your money's going to go out if you're in the club. It might come in if you're outside. I don't know. Anyhow, Speaking of fancy dancy rock star stuff, we talked a little bit about this before we started the show. Well, first off, ladies and gentlemen, before we even get into that, we're here for a reason. We are here for a reason, and we've got a couple tracks we're going to play. The one that's out now, I believe it's out now, right? Or just recently dropped is
September 12th.
September 12th. Can't believe we're in September. Jeez Louise. Brand new. September, that was just 4 days ago, is Distance.
Yeah.
And we're going to play this. And no, you said Distance is got a video. We're not going to play the video, folks, because it's not out yet. But it's dropping soon, right? In like a week or something like that?
Yeah, it's dropping September 26th. I haven't officially announced it, so this is an exclusive.
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have.
No, you're fine. No, let's talk about it.
Please, Jamie, put your foot in your mouth.
Well, I came on here to promote it. So.
Well, anyway, we're going to play the track right now with a cool, and this will lead into the discussion afterwards, because I will, as the track's playing, have a very cool image from the latest photo shoot, Miss Ella here. And believe me when I tell you, because I saw all the things. Well, anybody can see them. You can go over to Instagram and the website. There's places you can see these folks. Don't think I'm Mr. Cool, because that's not true at all. But anyway, you'll see it. And as we've been doing on the show here, through the magic of television, I'm going to hold my coffee, this giant 55-gallon drum of a coffee cup my wife got me. Holds a half pot of coffee. And it's my little, I have this $200 little timer thing up here. I don't even use it anymore. I'm like, well, when I've drank this down, I know that the show is about an hour long. So, but anyway. Funny. Yeah, so here it is, folks. I'm holding the coffee cup right here. Amazing to watch this. Check out this video. This is Distance.
Call out your name, but you're out of reach. I feel the distance when you're near me. In my hollow, which needs me, you had it all. It was all pretend, just to burn you now. That's lost me in the end. I know the draw is near. Can you hold me until time
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? The coffee cup didn't move. I was so transfixed with that track. I held this coffee cup in place the entire time. Couldn't get me out of the trance. It's an amazing track.
Thank you.
Ella, tell us a little bit about this. Did this wake up in a cold sweat and had to give me my pad of paper so I can write this, or a phone?
The first line came to me. First line is call out your name, but you're out of reach. I feel the distance when you're near me. I like wrote that. And
I
then
got pumps. I've been there. I've had that feeling.
so
my wife.
basically,
I've been
Yeah.
there. Been in that room.
basically the song is like about a emotional distance, not a physical one. But it's basically about like the end of a relationship and how you're fighting with your partner to keep going and to save the relationship, and they're basically 1 foot out the door and they're basically already given up. And some of the lyrics in the song are just like, you had it all, but it was all pretend. Does it burn you now that you lost me in the end? And things like that. So, yeah, it's very much like, it's very much like in your feelings, but it's a really beautiful storyline because you start off really hurt and at the end, you have some acceptance with how things are going. And you're basically saying, I know one of the other lyrics is like, I know the draw is near. Can you hold me until time runs out and we've hit the ground? So don't forget me now. And then so you're basically coming to acceptance that it's coming to an end. Just hold me one last time and I accept it now. But there's a little bit of anger. There's a little bit of sadness, hope, a little bit of
Disappoint-
begging, disappointment. Like it's a really beautiful storyline. And I don't want to give too many spoilers, but the music video is like, it's so incredible at showing a visual representation of the entire storyline. And I was lucky enough to have my director, Gareth Chan, from London. Actually, he flew all the way from London to direct it. And we shot it in
Wow.
LA. Yeah. We shot in LA and it was amazing. And we partnered with No Storage Productions and they did the production. And it's just an amazing like team of just really young creative artists. We all came together and just made it happen. There was tons of hiccups in the road, some delays, and no matter what, we like finished it. And it's just an amazing music video. I'm super proud of it. I love Roots. The Roots music video was amazing too, but
Great
I
video.
feel like this video was my first more storyline video, I
Gotcha.
guess you could
Mhm.
say. I act a little bit more. Like I'm actually like I have some talking parts. I actually have an actor who is playing my love interest. So I actually had to like get into this mode and have my director and the actor tell me some acting points. And not an actress, but it was super fun to just actually tap in to that kind of character. So yeah, I'm really proud of it.
Well, I have to, and that drops the 26th, folks. The 26th. And I will be blasting it out everywhere on all of my socials and whatnot. I just adore Ella, and everything she does is usually a home run. So I can't wait to see this. Ella, you knew this was coming. You came on this show. You're like, Jamie's fun and he's cool, but then sometimes he throws in the terrible question. And you knew this was coming. So with this track, with this emotional track, is it autobiographical? And does him or her, whatever, whoever it's about, do they know that they have not a diss track, what do you call it? A disappointment track about them where they're the subject? Because that's cool.
I think all my songs are very personal. They're all about my experiences. I think this entire EP is mostly about one person, but I have pulled some similar feelings with other situations in my life and kind of put that all together. I don't think this person knows. I don't talk to them anymore, and I left them on red the last time we talked because they don't deserve my
Now,
time.
hold
So,
on. No,
what?
my wife's not home, so I'm
Yeah.
old people. I don't know what being left on. Have I ever been left on red? I need to know. I probably have. Does that
Left
mean
on
you're
red
pissed
is
off
like
about them? I am really good at pissing women off. I have a doctorate in it. Well,
my
not
gosh.
anymore, but when I was younger.
Yeah, being left
That-
on red is like they messaged you and like you just didn't reply and your red
I'm
buttons are on.
been left on red. Oh, I'm so mad. I'll show them.
he didn't deserve it. He really didn't.
Let
And
me
in
ask
part,
you this. Is that
yeah,
why the photo shoot is all like red lighting and
no,
whatnot? I
no,
put
every
Amsterdam Paris thing to it. I'm like, oh,
thank you.
spicy.
Um, no, every song has a different look and a color attached to
Okay.
it. I just did
Oh,
that for
okay.
like creative purpose. So with my photographer, we have different backdrops and lights, and then I had a
Right.
different look for each song. So I'm dropping not every song, but a couple of the songs are singles. and I'm gonna do like a photo for each one. And so yeah, you just want to have visuals for every song. It just helps with promotion and marketing and
That
press and all that stuff.
that's smart. That is smart. I don't think I've seen that done way back before Ella was even a thought that anybody was even prophesized of coming. There was a band, and they weren't together long, 6 years, but they were phenomenal, called The Police. And their last album, and they hated each other. There's all these stories, you can find them online and stuff, where they just always fighting in the studio. But they were great when they worked, but they couldn't make it happen, couldn't hold it together. Sting, and you've heard of Sting, I'm sure, folks. He was the lead singer. They had an album, their last album was called Synchronicity. And the theme of the album was these three guys, the 80s, with three paint slashes of the primary colors on it. So their big hit was, one of their big hits was a track called Every Breath You Take, which is a effed up track. If you listen to the lyrics, everybody thinks it's a love song. It's a stalker song. It's not good at all. But anyway, the video, when they dropped it on MTV, and this is back when early MTV, I remember, it was interesting. It was shot in black and white, and then they did a color filter, and they did a yellow version, a red version, and a blue version. So whenever it was played on MTV, people didn't know what version it was going to be. They were the exact same video, just a different color filter over it. And everybody's like, oh, maybe it'll be, we all got excited. Maybe it's going to be the blue. The blue one's my favorite. I don't know. No, I like but it created a hype over this messed up song that I've heard way too many times at wedding receptions over the years since that dropped. What is up with that? Play Dancing Queen by ABBA. What is wrong with you? You can play Every Breath You Take at a wedding reception. I was at a wedding reception one time. I think the worst song I ever heard was AC/DC's She Shook Me All Night Long. I'm like, that's not a good, her father is dancing with her. Don't play that. What is wrong with you? Wedding DJs. Anyway, and two pearls of wisdom. So then the tracks are dropping. You've got all this stuff happening. Videos have been filmed happening, all this stuff. How exciting. You got the coolest gray suit I've ever seen in the world. I love that. In your photo shoot there.
The blazer, thank you.
Yeah, that's a power look there, man. Writing checks. Make things happen more than that.
I got lucky enough that a couple local brands were nice enough to lend me their products.
Really?
Not Blazed Vintage in the Bay Area. They lent me a couple of the really cool recycled, reused blazers that they sell. So yeah, and my stylist that I partnered with, she pulled some of those pieces. So yeah, it was really cool. It was a very creative project. I love Pinterest and I'm very visual, and I have a fashion background and I love makeup. I just love glam. So I definitely made like a bunch of mood boards and just put it all together and like took my time sourcing everything. So I definitely enjoyed like the creative process of putting this photo shoot together.
I love Pinterest as well. I didn't realize you were on it. I'm going to add you on my Pinterest feed.
Yeah. I'm always pinning things.
It's funny. People are like, Jamie, you're on Pinterest about that? You're not a young gal. What is that about? Well, folks, I learned how to make things out of palettes. And I look at Pinterest every time you see a show, or even in the past when you're audio only, I don't look at Facebook or anything like that before a show because it just makes me mad. I see some dumb post or somebody being stupid and I'm like, or Twitter, I never want to go on Twitter. I'm not even on it anymore. But it just makes me mad. And I don't want to be mad. I want to be upbeat during the show. So I look at Pinterest and get ideas on things. And now, a lot of painting ideas start at Pinterest for me. That's all I'm saying. It's a good social media platform. That's cool. I'm going to add you on there. I'm going to add the folks. Just
Please.
search Ela Ozturk. Yeah, and there you go. I'm sure it's under
Yeah.
there. She
let
has
me
it
see.
hidden under some weird nomiker or something.
Oh, it's literally, let me see. It's literally my name. It's just Ela Ozturk.
Yeah. And then you'll be cool, ladies and gentlemen, because your feed will be cool. It's got lettering on it and whatnot. So how about that? How cool is it? And add her. And speaking of which, we have a link which is somewhere on the screen right now. I don't know where it will be, to Ella's website and whatnot. And once you get there, let me just go here. Let's close back out of. I was on your what? Yeah, that's what I was thinking right here. I was remembering. Check out those gloves. Those are cool, man. Those are awesome. Those are Rockstar gloves.
Because I'm trying to remember.
Right on your homepage of your website,
Oh.
fishnet ones. Yeah, I was just talking about this on a show where, because I got some email, people are like, "Oh, you're into those fishnets," and I'm like, "No, I like to paint fishnets because they're hard to paint. It's a challenge. Yeah, now
Oh,
you know
yeah, that's
somebody else doing it. They're hard." But anyway, back to Ella's website, which is phenomenal.
Yep.
Up at the top here, are you Gen Z or are you a millennial? I can never keep this stuff straight.
Gen Z, yeah.
You're
Gen Z.
Gen Z, you're a youngster. And they know about this stuff, folks. She has 75 different social media things she's a member of, and they're all listed there. So you can follow her. No, there's not 70.
He's fine.
It's like 8.
There's like 10 maybe.
Much more than I would want to keep up
They're
with.
always coming out with a new social media website.
Yeah.
I do. And I have to be on all of them because like they're free. And why would I not utilize?
Yeah,
Like that's how people find your music.
absolutely. I just had to redo my Facebook. My account got deleted. I couldn't.
What?
Well, it's my fault. I can't complain. I can't rant and rave. It's totally my fault. I was sharing all this disinformation.
What did you do?
I wasn't doing anything bad, technically, that you and I would consider bad. I'm an old man. And when I signed up for Facebook, I didn't think Facebook was going to go anywhere. To be honest, I was a MySpace guy. That was way before you were probably knee-high to a tall Indian in those days, if you were even around. But MySpace was cool. I liked MySpace. I was like one of those cool guys on MySpace. So Facebook came around in like 2007 or something. I think it was the same year that the iPhone was introduced. And I signed up for it. I didn't read all that stuff. I didn't sign up for a business professional account. I just signed up for an account and have been using it since 2007. Post paintings for sale on there, the whole bit. And Facebook finally noticed and they said, "Hey, man, you're selling stuff and we're not getting a cut. So you're out of here, mullet head." And
Oh,
so I had to restart the whole thing. And the biggest pain, and I don't care, whatever. I restarted it. Not a big deal. We'll do it the right way this time. I was not aware. The biggest pain is all of the people that are even older than I am messaging me and texting me. "Is this really you? Or is somebody trying to impersonate?" I'm like, I would feel bad if somebody
yeah.
wanted to impersonate me. Get a life, people. They're better people to you can impersonate Ella. No, don't.
I have enough things to do.
She doesn't want to be restarting Facebook.
Yeah.
So, what a nightmare. And all the graphics, because I didn't save any of that stuff. All my people are like, "Yeah, it's a graphic. What are you talking?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a graphic that took me 45 minutes to make, times 200 now that I got to redo." Nightmare. Anyway, now it's up and going. But it did waste a day. It put me about everything I had planned to do that day. I was like, now I got to do this. Hiccups. Well, you look amazing. And in the photo shoots and everything, if you go over to Ella's Instagram page, you can see this all, folks. And they are great. Look at that blazer. Man, yeah. Look at this eye makeup when you're looking at this mirror here. I like all this stuff. Ella was like, "Can I put any more things in my hair on the mirror pictures?" No. I don't. Hey, and you're on TV, live in the Bay.
Yeah, I was
How
on
was-
TV. That was super cool. I got to do an interview and I got to perform my song Places I'm Letting Go, which is the
Okay.
first single off of the EP.
Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
my first live TV performance, and it was so fun and scary.
Did you have to, was it a morning type deal? Did you have to go at like
Yeah.
4:30 in the morning?
It was so early and
Done a couple of those.
so
Oh,
live. And I'm like, wow, I have so much respect for like all my favorite artists that like do huge TV. It's so
mhm.
nerve-wracking because it's so live. Like there's no in-ear monitors that you can bring. There's no like um
No,
really do a
none of that.
band at that level. There's just it's just literally you and a microphone and like that's
You
it.
know, I'm telling you, the first time I ever did one of those, and there always is, you always got to go super early. And I'll never forget. My chest was puffed out, man. I just done a TV thing. I was cock of the walk. I was pretty, things were pretty cool. And me and my girlfriend at the time were walking. We had left the studio. And we were walking down the street. This is in San Diego, and a homeless guy came up. A homeless guy came up, and he was excited. And he goes, "I saw you on TV this morning. You're famous." And it was left. I'm like, "You saw me on? You have a shopping cart. Nothing wrong here. Let me give you a book. But how did you see me on TV? What do they got, a TV in the park? What's going on?" And he's like, "No, he was at a soup kitchen. And they had TVs playing,
Wow.
and they had the morning show on." I'm like, "Here we go. Here's my public. Here's my people, folks." Fred, the homeless
Wait,
guy.
you were on the morning show?
Yeah, one of these interview things
No.
where you,
I'm gonna go watch that.
no. I don't even think they had, this was so long ago, Ella. I don't even think there's a YouTube of that. So it wasn't any,
Dang
nobody
it.
could do video on their phone. You had to actually have a video camera. They were expensive. Yeah, but that was back in the day. That was back in the MySpace days, you know? Anyway, so you're doing all this. You're on TV. You're making all this stuff happen. We're getting the EP out. Then you think you'll be doing shows after that? Moving into that side of things?
Yeah, I'm currently working on booking shows. I'm talking to some promoters, some venues. Nothing is confirmed yet, which is why I haven't announced anything. But I do hope to do some shows hopefully this year, and definitely a lot of shows next year for this whole
Okay.
project. And my goal is really to do like a festival. That would be so cool.
I was going to say, with your type of music and whatnot, though, shows and stuff that you're going to be doing is going to be very pinky out, high end. You're not going to find a porta potty at Ella's show, is all I'm saying, folks. You got to get gussied up if you're going to an Ela Ozturk show. That's because they're going to
Yeah.
be at fancy places. Yeah, that's what that is.
Well,
Nothing
you
like-
are.
That's true, though. Nobody's wearing flip flops to an Ela Ozturk show, I wouldn't think. But very cool. Well, hey, we've got another, I forgot, and we'll mix this in. Places I'm Letting Go. We're playing that one as well, right?
Yeah, that's the first single off the project.
So here we go. So the first single off the new EP, Pearls of Wisdom, is a fantastic track called, I just listened to this, Places I'm Letting Go. Tell us a little bit about this one, and then we'll play it.
Yeah. So Places I'm Letting Go is the first single off of the EP. And that is the one that I performed live on TV recently on Live in the Bay. And basically Places I'm Letting Go is also centered around kind of the end of a relationship and basically letting go of the person, the places, the memories you had, and realizing that the next chapter for you is better than the one that you're trying to stay on. And yeah, it's a little
There.
sassy. There's some sassy lines in there, but I love the hook of I'm letting go, and I stack my vocals a million times for that. It's a really pretty like vocal stack and very soulful. Everyone that has listened to it that knows me has texted me. And it's like it's stuck in my head. So I love that. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. And that was the first song we recorded. So I hope you guys like it. And yeah, this is Places I'm Letting Go.
Fantastic. Well, very cool. Well, here's the track, everybody. Check this out. Here it is.
I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. Cross the line, don't hurt me at all. Saying your name don't make me choke. Closing open doors. Don't want your lies. I don't need you anymore. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting places we've danced in, rooms filled without love, tears cried in your bed. I don't claim them anymore. Empty picture frames, memories to hold. I'm burning onto the floor. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. Places we once called us just seem so simple now. Looking back, it was us that made it colorful. We painted places all the shades of hue. Now it's chipped away, faded to gray. I burned it onto the floor. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go.
And we're back. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for us today. I want to thank Ella for taking time out of her busy schedule, because I know it is.
Yeah.
To come on and class to join up around here. I like all of our guests, but it's especially cool when we get the pinky out guests, tie in highfalutin gals. Man, the ratings will go through the roof. I know how it works. I know how the game is played. Very, very nice. I'm teasing, but Ella's cool. She's cool, turned up to 10. Check out her website, check out her stuff, add her on your socials, and keep doing this. Keep watching where she's doing. She's really good at what she does. Very cool. Ella, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's always fun to. It's like my third time, I think.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. Well, folks, we will see you next time. Keep being you. Be cool. I thought I wouldn't have to say this anymore. It's a weird world, and yeah, everybody has their Facebook poli-sci theses to their writing and whatnot. They're all just experts on everything. Be patient with people and don't stress out and waste your time over nonsense. That's all I'm saying. Just because somebody's saying something doesn't mean you have to engage. Engage on positive stuff. Anywho, we're out of here. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida.
All rights reserved by Pop Roxx Limited.
Hannah Oli, Pop Roxx Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.